Hi everyone, this is Miss Borgen again, and today's video will be on finding information for the PWOP. Hopefully by now, through some of your pre-search and your mind mapping, and then completing a research design proposal, you've gained a little bit of context around your topic, and you're ready to move on to the next step of the IPP, which is experience. So this is really where you jump in and get your hands dirty and do some research. So this video is going to introduce you to some of the resources that we have here at the Prep Library on the Middle Ages. Of course, we have some learning targets for today. We want to know, can you find information to answer your topic questions? We hope that by the end of this you can demonstrate mastery of technology, which is iPad, ebooks, online databases, websites, and actually, yes, physical books too. Those are another form of technology. It's not a new technology, but still technology. So we're hoping you can demonstrate mastery of these technologies to use for finding information and answering your questions. So here's the sort of example pre-search that I've completed so far. Here on the left is the mind map that I showed you in class during our first session together. And on the right is my little sample research design proposal. So the research design proposal has two purposes. It's asked you to describe what you've already learned and what sort of interests you about the topic. And then it's supposed to sort of help direct you during this experience portion of your research by asking you to sort of elaborate on any questions you might have developed. So I started out here with what was the role of women in chivalry during the Middle Ages. And I also have some subsequent questions around that. So why were peasant women excluded, which I sort of talked about up here? Is chivalry solely a Christian concept? Who are the more famous chivalrous knights? What did they do? So really no question is too small. Feel free to define your terms, figure other stuff out. No question is too dumb either. So one of the most important things in your research are going to be keywords. Keywords are really just a fancy way of saying the words that you use to search for something. On the left here you can see what we call a natural language search. So this is how I might phrase my question in my paper when talking to another person or writing this down on a paper. Computers don't really care about natural language. Humans love it. Computers couldn't care less. So your job, since you're going to be researching using a computer, is to sort of pull out the most important words from your topic and then search using those. I've highlighted mine in green here. So women, chivalry, Middle Ages. And then when I did sort of a quick initial search on women and chivalry and Middle Ages, I came up with a whole new list of search terms that you can see here. Some are related words, some are specific names or places like Arthur and Guinevere. Some are phrases particular to that time like finet amour. So as you research, your list of keywords is going to grow and grow from just a few basic ones into sort of this entire big vocabulary. Pretty cool. So here's the first source I'm going to demonstrate for you, which is the Gale Virtual Reference Library. The GVRL, these are ebooks, so books that already exist in published form, but they are also available online. And I'm going to do a brief search on chivalry to demonstrate for you. I'll click on the link here. All of these links, by the way, can be found through the PWOP website at the McKay Library. So remember, we were here in context doing some pre-search here. Now we're down here in experience. So there's your learning targets. Here's a couple links I'll toss up in a while. And here are all of our resources here that I'm going to talk about. So here's the GVRL. So I'm just going to do a test search on chivalry. And you can see here there's several entries on chivalry from several different volumes. Encyclopedia of Renaissance, Middle Ages, and Encyclopedia for Students. If you click on one, it'll give you the whole article. Oops. Click on the article title. There you go. So here's the article on chivalry from Renaissance and Encyclopedia for Students. If you look here at the little bar at the top, you can cite this article if you want to. You can email it to yourself. You can download it. You can print it. I don't recommend doing this. You can even download it as an MP3 if you want to listen to it. You can view it as a PDF, so exactly what it looks like within the book. If you scroll to the bottom, it'll always give you the source citation in MLA format. This is going to be helpful for you when you're doing your note sheets, and we'll talk about that in the next video. So that's the GVRL very briefly. Let's go back to our resources. We also have our library catalog, so also known as physical books in the library. So you can search these using our Destiny library catalog. Our catalog also has links to our ebooks, but it isn't sophisticated enough to search within the ebooks themselves. So books are located numerically by subject in our library catalog with something called a call number. And I'll show you this in a minute. You're welcome to make a list of different call numbers that your topic is under, or you can just ask us for help and we're happy to help you. So you can see here, there's the call number 940.1 WHA for what life was like in the age of chivalry. Like I said, you can try to find it yourself in the library or just ask me and Mrs. Abe, and we're happy to help you. So one more handy function of our catalog, so not only does it search books in the library, but it also searches websites. These are all websites that have been checked over by a librarian and determined to be good information. So these can be really helpful if you want something beyond what we have in ebooks or in our physical collection, but you don't want to go to Google. Next, we have the History Study Center, and this is a database. So a database contains articles from newspapers, magazines, encyclopedias, journals, and already published works out there in the world. So just like with Gale eBooks, this is going to give you sort of a wide range of things that are already published. It's just a little wider than just the ebooks. So if I search for chivalry, I'm going to come up with a bunch of stuff. So they have some things called study units, which is a bunch of resources they've brought together on different topics. So this might be helpful for you, especially British society and culture during the Middle Ages. There's also historical documents, maps and reference, multimedia, so there's some videos and pictures. There are articles from scholarly journals, so these are scholars from all over the world writing on different topics. You're also going to find stuff from encyclopedias here as well. And much like the Gale ebooks, they give you options to cite, email, print your articles. You can see here, usually these things are located at the top, right here. And here's the article itself. So next is other sites. So I've collected some other sites and I've put them up on the PWOP website. These are just a few examples here. I'm not going to show all of them to you. There's plenty of wonderful information out on the web. So there's great stuff you can see from quite a few universities, the British Library, BBC, PBS. As I find more stuff, I'll add it. If you find a fantastic website, feel free to send it to me and let me know, and I'll check it out. And if it's checks out great, I'll happily add it to the list. One more thing we should talk about before I close is Google. So Google is a wonderful tool. I use it every single day. It's completely invaluable. However, when you are researching, you have to be extremely careful what information you trust. On the web, anyone can publish anything, and it's often really hard to know if information is coming from a trustworthy source. So what I'd like all of you to do is to try the resources I've mentioned previously in this presentation before turning to Google. If you end up using a Googled website, be ready to justify why the source is trustworthy to me and your Collegio teachers. Of course, if you have trouble finding sources in our ebooks or in our library or in databases, come find me and Mrs. Abe and we'll help you out. And we may actually end up using Google too. That's fine. Before your first research session when you come to the library, and you're all kind of coming different days, make sure you have your completed research design proposal. So that's something that should have been completed by the 9th of February, as well as the sheet that helps you kind of debrief this video. And I'll show it to you very quickly. This is once again downloadable well, it will be downloadable right here. The video really just asks, or the sheet really just asks you to identify which of these sources I just showed you seem promising or helpful to you as you're doing your research, and then it asks you for 5 keywords, so sort of to develop that, and hopefully you have those keywords from your pre-search. And then it asks you, what help do you need? So are you stuck on your research question, you don't know which way to go? How can we sort of help you along in this process? And that's really all, and I will see you in the library.